guide your body down into the earth. They can come from your sit bones, your feet, your back, whatever you're called to, and send those down into the earth, down through the layers, down, down, down. Send tendrils into the molten core of the lava that is liquid, fiery liquid. And then send tendrils down even further into the crystalline core of the earth, where there is pure light of Creator. And wrap your roots around that light. And as you breathe, breathe that up through your roots, up through your body. And breathe that energy in through your heart. And then send it on up into the universe, all the way up to that place where Creator resides, where there is nothing but pure energy, pure light, pure love. We have created a looping cycle of energy from above and below. And just allow yourself to sit and feel this for a moment. You're breathing in, bringing this energy in and up. I would like you to focus on bringing it to your solar plexus, which is your third chakra. It is just above your navel. This is the fire chakra, and this is the chakra connecting to the sun. So we bring our energy and focus there. And as we focus on this chakra, we feel the warmth of the sun. Feeling that space and that area radiating out into your cells and in your body. You may feel a little tingling sensation in the warmth from the sun. This chakra awakens and responds to the heat. Allow it to radiate throughout all of your body, touching every cell. And allow this sunlight from Creator to move into those places that the light hasn't seen for a while. Any little nooks and crannies and crevices. Is being bathed by the light of the sun and by Creator. Just allow yourself to feel this right now. Feel your inner fire ignite. If it is smoldering, if it is blazing too bright, bring it into balance. And just allow the juiciness of the sun in the summer to course through your veins as we are in this energy. And this is a place of divine union of the masculine energy of the sun and the feminine energy of the earth, and it comes together in you. Now we're going to expand this energy out of our bodies so that we are filling up your room, your space, filling up your neighborhood, your county, your state, stretch a little bit bigger to cover the country. And we're going to stretch a little bit further, and we're going to encompass the entire planet. And then we're going to stretch it even bigger, and we're going to send it out into the universe as far as it will go. Sending out ripples of love, ripples of light out into the world, wherever it is needed. And as that energy goes out, it begins to ripple back. As we breathe, we are giving and receiving. And then we begin to notice the energy rippling back to us from the universe, rippling back down to our planet, rippling back down to our country, rippling back to our state, back to our community, back to our home, or wherever you may be at this moment, back into your body, back into your solar plexus above the navel. And then we gradually bring up the roots that are down in the center of the earth, pulling them back up, pulling back in the tendrils that have been in the molten lava, pulling all of that back into the body and letting it rest in the solar plexus. And again, I invite you to feel the support of the chair, the bed, the floor, whatever it is that's supporting you and holding you up. Be aware of it. Feel your extremities of your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Move your neck, move your hips, whatever. Make sure you're fully grounded and back here in this now moment. Here, now. When you're ready, you may open your eyes. Beautiful. Welcome back.
Nice. Great.
It is so good to be here with you in person and to see so many of you. And welcome. It is so good to be with all of you who are joining virtually. I was last here at the beginning of spring, and now I am here at the beginning of summer.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, yes. And summer is one of my favorite seasons, and it's one that that I resonate with the most. It is a masculine energy, as the earth is feminine, the sun is masculine, and it carries a lot of heat, carries a lot of expansion and growth. It carries a lot of high vibration, a lot of excitement, a lot of expansion and growth, because it is needed, both are needed in order for us to grow and thrive and be healthy. And so I'm going to start out with the heady part of celebrating solstice. It is the longest day of the year, not that we have more than 24 hours, but it's the longest amount of light that we have. The sun has reached its peak of gaining light for the season, for the year, and then after solstice on the 21st, we will begin to decrease the light as the nature begins to prepare for winter. As we are at the very beginning of our season, we are constantly in change and moving in cycles. And then, of course, for those who are in the southern hemisphere, they are being anchored, our anchor of having the shortest night, or the shortest day, but the longest night. So there is a balance there. And so summer solstice is about balance between the light and the dark, male and female, and anything else that's not in balance with us inside. is the time to bring that into there. Astrologically, the summer solstice begins when the sun enters into Cancer, the season of Cancer. And so, and that's where and it gets closer to the equator, so that's where all the heat comes from, and the Earth has actually tilted and is the closest to the sun it's going to be, which is why we feel all of this. And solstice has been celebrated in ancient cultures since time. It is often part of a calendar system using the sun and the moon for crops and agriculture. And so all societies and cultures have different celebrations and rituals that they have to usher in the solstice. And you know, even architecture has been influenced by the sun and the moon. And so in Egypt, if one is standing in front of the Sphinx as the sun sets, the sun will line up in between two of those pyramids in Giza, and perfectly aligned. And in Stonehenge and in England, at sunrise, the sunlight aligns in the center, and as it reaches that center point, it illuminates each one of the stones, and it forms like a magical U-shape, horseshoe shape there when that does that. And it only does this on summer solstice. So whoever created that tapped into some very, very potent universal energy and its own magic. And so, and people still do that in Stonehenge. In the U.S., celebrations are held at summer solstice at Serpent Mound in Ohio. And what that is it is an earthwork shaped like a snake. And on summer solstice, there is an alignment with the sun that illuminates this. Like if you had a drone perspective or an eagle's perspective, you would see the snake very, very clearly. And that is some very, very sacred energy there. And so celebrations are celebrated there each year. And this was constructed by indigenous peoples, and they continue to have celebrations there. Just a couple more of the heady parts, and then we'll move into it. I already mentioned that it is masculine energy. It is related to the cardinal direction of the south, so earth-based and indigenous cultures recognize each quarter has a direction. And so it is the south, and the south is the fire, and it also in native tradition would be the time of childhood through teenagehood, where we're really kind of blossoming, getting wild and free and figure out what we're doing and how to navigate life. That's what summer is about. Some crystals and stones that are associated with this time of the year: sunstone, amber, carnelian. You might not be able to see these too well, but I have some. Basically, you want crystals and stones that are orange, yellow, or gold that connect to the sun. And then, let's see here, golden calcite, yellow jasper, quartz, smoky quartz, and gold. Foods that are associated with the solstice, anything that's round and colored to the sun. So I brought some nectarines and peaches, and they also contain a lot of water. So we eat those in the summer to stay hydrated. Nature finds a way to sustain us. And, you know, it reminds us of the juiciness of life. Have you ever bitten into a peach or a nectarine and it's just all juicy and, oh, it just reminds us how sweet life is, and primordial it is too. Lemons and limes, I have some of those on the altar. And then of course, you know, having fun, s'mores, and I do have s'more packets for people to take home.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Because, you know, a celebration wouldn't be a celebration with something sweet. Also with herbs, there chamomile, lavender, and fennel, and with vegetables, yellow squash, corn, tomatoes, honey. So everything that is our bountiful harvest right now. So this is like one of the first harvest celebrations of the plants that were earlier planted in the early spring. So this is our first bounty and harvest. And so that's what we are celebrating the summer solstice, is the bounty that we have in our lives, the abundance of blessings that we have, and the seeds that we metaphorically have sown, or maybe even the goals that we set earlier, are starting to blossom. In the springtime, some of them might have just been coming out of the ground. Now they are like going into full frenzy, going crazy, and sometimes they have to cut them back. And I love looking at like the dandelions and some of the like the garlic and the onions, where they have those little balls at the end, they're really tight, and all of a sudden they get to go poof, and then they just kind of like go wild and crazy, and then their seed spreads everywhere. That's what summer solstice is about. That's what we are celebrating. Alrighty. So going into more spiritual perspective, and I've already started that transition, this is a time to honor the masculine energy that we all possess inside. We all have the feminine energy, we all have the masculine, and it all kind of comes in together. And so it is a time to honor that, and maybe you don't even think about that energy that you have. So just give some thought to that, and to celebrate that, and knowing that that is what gives you your inner fire and lights your soul to create and to do whatever it is that you want to do with your life, and to create what it is that you have set your intentions for. This is also a time to gather with family and friends and to celebrate the end of a cycle, maybe the end of school, maybe the end of a project. And it's a time for us to allow space to reflect and get quiet. Allow ourselves to put our hair down, kick back our feet, sit in a hammock, go to the beach, read a book for fun, not a self-help book, not a textbook, but just a fun, silly book, or just something just is different than what you normally do. This is a time to take honor and place for out of the ordinary. And it is also a time to bring a little bit of balance into your life. End of the school year and end of like certain cycles and seasons, we get into this frenzied pace. And then it's like that time, you gotta have that letdown type to just kind of flop and go. That's why we have the hammocks and the trips to the beach, and we float, and we have the little flamingos and the little umbrellas and our drinks and everything, because we gotta have fun. If life is just too darn depressing if we don't allow ourselves to have fun and pull the sun into it and pull the joy into it. And so there are a lot of different festivals. We see them. We have the Pride Festival coming up. We have the Juneteenth festivals coming up to celebrate freedom for all. And so this is an opportunity to celebrate freedom that we don't normally think of outside of, in the American tradition, 4th of July or Independence Day from an oppressor or a government. This is a time to celebrate our inner freedom and our freedom to connect with Creator and each other and connect with Source. And so, and it's time to celebrate boldly and loudly. And that's what the fire does. It ignites that, and then it also consumes any of that that is dead, or it's already completed its cycle and it's time to let go, and maybe we don't want to let go, but we need to let it go anyways. So that summer fire is great for letting that go. And I love those burning bowls, and so we can actually celebrate summer solstice with a fire pit. You can write on a piece of paper and toss it in there, or if you have an old smudge wand that you haven't completely used up, this is a good time to take something that has started and really needs to be set free so that it can continue its sacred purpose. Toss that into your fire pit, and it will help keep the mosquitoes away too. So there are lots of things that you can do to celebrate summer solstice. You can create an altar, such as like I have here. It could be as simple as just putting some fruit and a candle on there. I have an altar at home where I have red, orange, and yellow candles. And I also have stones. I brought a shell and feathers from the beach. And then, of course, some flowers that are representing fire are always nice to have. And you could even toss some of your flowers into the fire pit if you make a fire to further ignite the energy and the healing presence that those flowers have, to let that really go out and expand. So I'm really all about these fire pits. I have one. I'm going to be doing mine on Monday night, and I can't wait. So there is a time to celebrate and to let go. Sweep off your front porch. Open up all your windows and let the sun come in, and let the refreshing air come in, especially on these days that we're having right now where it's not humid. And just get fun and have silly. And maybe you're not maybe you're not into big family celebrations or pool parties with friends and that kind of thing. You can go and do a solitary celebration. You can pull up a hammock, or go to a park, or go to the river, or go to the beach by yourself. There's nothing wrong with doing something by yourself. And you can take your book with you. You can take your journal with you. I recommend that if you are journaling, you can do your introspective questions. What's working? What's not working? Start out with gratitude for your blessings, and think about all of the things that you have accomplished this year, even the tiniest of them. Because when we have those little baby steps and those little baby accomplishments, when you sit back and reflect, it ends up being leaps and bounds and like way far greater than our brains want us to think. Also, for journaling, get a really good, ripe, juicy peach. Take a bite into it and eat that, and then look at what metaphors come up for you as you eat that peach. Was there anything discomfortable? Do you not like getting messy? Life's messy. Was it a sweet peach, or was it still not quite right? Whatever it is, just, or maybe if a peach isn't your fruit, something that watermelon, or maybe one of the other ones that's really, really juicy, journal with it. Ask it some questions. If you're feeling like you're kind of dried up and you need some moisture and you need some excitement in your life, talk with the fruit. It'll give you some answers and some advice. And then it's happy to offer to you, to celebrate with you. Also, if you are out meditating on your own, it's a good time, and this is something that we do when we do forest bathing. Sit down and first focus on your breath. Hear your breath. Feel your breath. And then start out and listen to what's like right around you. Is there a fly buzzing in your ear? Did a bee just zip by and you hear the buzz of their wings? Then take it a little bit further. Maybe there's a bird in the tree that you might not have heard if you didn't focus on it. And then you take it out like 5 or 10 feet. What do you hear within 5 or 10 feet? Can you hear the leaves moving? Or maybe squirrels scampering through the woods on the dry leaves? And then again, like we did in meditation, take it out a little bit further. Take it like a mile around you. Maybe take it a mile, or several thousand miles. Can you hear that plane that's way, way, way up there? What do you hear? Do you hear the wind that's not blowing through the trees? Do you hear the voices of your ancestors? The veil is thin, just as it is thin at the winter solstice. Since we're on the other side of that, the veil is thin for us at summer solstice. And I never even thought about that until this morning. And it's like, oh yeah, because it's all in balance, the yin and the yang. So this is another time to have a conversation with your ancestors and connect with them. If you miss them or if you miss their advice, you can have a conversation with them, honor them, and maybe you've never honored your ancestors before. This would be a great time. They would be really excited and really happy to celebrate with you and to add some summer fun to your life if you are open to it. And the things that you can do with summer solstice are way beyond what I have mentioned to you. But it's all about going within